Dr. Wan Siti Nur Atirah binti Wan Muhammad Azimin from the School of Biological Science, USM. Thank you, doctors, for taking the time to be with us today. This webinar is brought to you by the Academy Affairs Industry ESCO in collaborations with Department of Bioscience Faculty of Science UTM and Society of UTM Bioscience Students Symbiosis. Tonight, we will explore how biology graduates can transition into the dynamics and rapidly growing fields of data science, a skill set that is increasingly in demand across various industries. Before we begin, we kindly request all participants to fill in the registration form which has been provided in the chat box. Now, let us start with a recitation of prayer to seek blessings for a smooth and meaningful session. For that, I would like to invite Muhammad Zami bin Halim to lead us. Please welcome.
وقال ربكم استجب لكم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Tuhan yang menguasai langit dan bumi, hanya padamu sahaja kami panjangkan kesyukuran atas segala rahmat dan berkat-Mu. Sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada hari ini bagi menyatakan kesyukuran di atas kurniaan-Mu yang tidak ternilai. Jadikanlah kami hamba-hamba-Mu yang sentiasa bersyukur sama ada nikmat yang sedikit, lebih-lebih lagi nikmat yang melimpah kepada kami. Ya Allah, ya Rahman, ya Rahim, Engkau berkatilah dan rahmatilah perjalanan program kami pada malam ini. Sesungguhnya Engkau Maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin menimba ilmu-Mu yang sangat luas bagi mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang Engkau redai. Justeru berkati dan rahmatilah perhimpunan kami ini, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu-Mu, sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan cahaya dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga dengannya kami mudah menerima dan menghayati serta mengamalkannya. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa ikhwanina alladhina sabaquna bil iman wa la taj'al fi qulubina ghillan lil ladzina amanu rabbana innaka ra'ufur rahim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina 'adzaban nar. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Thank you, Izami, for the prayer recitations. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our honored guest speaker, Ms. Nur Sri Dewi Hisham, a Bachelor in Science Biology graduate from UTM class of 2020, who is currently serving as a data engineer at ExxonMobil KL. Ms. Nur Sri Dewi brings together her strong foundation in biological science with her expectations in data engineering, serving as an inspiring example for many of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Nur Sri Dewi Hisham.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dewi, and I'm your speaker for today. Before I share my screen, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Atira, Dr. Halima, and Dr. Alina. I think she's here. And also our moderator. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. And I hope this session will be very good for all of you. I'm not sure if you have any international students, but I'm just gonna mix up English and Malay in between. So if you have any international student, do let me know.
Ada seorang international.
Yep.
Ada seorang. Tapi dia boleh cakap sikit-sikit Melayu.
Okay. So it's best if I speak English, right?
Yes, that is
betul.
Jamal. Jamal is
Yeah,
from
Jamal.
India.
Oh, from India. I actually have a team member. Part of my team is in Bangalore. So I went to Bangalore once. So hello. Okay. Again, I'm Devi. Okay, I'm just gonna start it. This isn't gonna be as formal as we want it to be because I'm not that sort of a person. But as you can see from the slide, we are going to talk about from lab coats to laptops, the data-driven biologies. I do know that the title is a bit fancy, but the agenda for today is I would like to cover a little bit about myself, what I go through before I became a data engineer, and the challenges that I face along the way. And then I'm going to talk more on the data field. I'm going to teach you guys a little bit on how to differentiate what is data analyst, what is data scientist, and what is data engineer itself. So please bear with me. All right. So to start, let's get to know me a little bit. I'm Dewi. My full name is Nosri Dewi binti Mat Hisham. My family name is Hisham, but they call me Dewi. So I'm currently 29 years old. I am married with one husband for now and two kids, two boys. So basically, I am in a disaster recovery of a state where I have three boys at home. I graduated science biology in the year 2020. It was COVID year. And then now I'm currently serving ExxonMobil as a data engineer. It's still, I think 3 years is still new in the industry because most of my seniors are like 20 years of experience. So I'm still new. And I consider myself as a polyglot because I know other languages beside Malay and English, which is SQL language, Python language, and also CICD. So CICD is actually one of the languages that you need to know when you want to build a pipeline for GitHub. So, okay. So I consider myself as a polyglot because I know all these languages. Fancy name for me. So okay, a little bit about backstory about me. I consider myself the main character of today, the MC of the session. So let's get to it. So how I managed to actually get in touch with Data Field is because when I did my final year project, it was with Dr. Shazwani. So what I did during my final year was I did in silico study. It was drug design where you need to use Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is a Linux programming language. So surprisingly, you need to use Ubuntu for a biology FYP project, final year project. So I'm not sure if it's the same, but during that time, we have a supercomputer at level 5 in T02. So when I did my final year project, I was actually forced to learn Linux in order to actually the protein structure. But we had to stop midway because of COVID and because nobody is in the faculty. So half of the experiment was shut down because the supercomputers are turned off. The faculty was being shut down totally. And that makes our experiment half baked. So we had to use whatever data, whatever, anything that you have, and make use of it and make your own thesis. So that is what happened for my final year project. But because of that experience, when I actually managed to touch the beauty of computer science a little bit, I realized that it's not too bad. You know, you have your data, why not use it? So, and then with that partially cook my thesis, I managed to graduate degrees in science biology. And then with that semangat, with that knowledge in my head, I actually enrolled for a master's degree with a Dr. Shaza Eva. She's a senior lecturer in MJIIT UTMKL. So what's fun, why I chose to enroll for this master degree is because it's actually a project where it's an integration between AI, artificial intelligence, and biology. So what I did during my master project was I did deep learning. Deep learning is a type of AI where we need to identify microalgae using images. So it was very fun, but what's hard is that I don't have any coding background, and so is Dr. Shazaeva. So she's actually an expert in microbiology, but both of us, we don't know anything about coding at all. So I did need to reach out to one of my co-supervisor, which is Dr. Ibrahim. He's one of the computer science lecturer in MJIIT, and he actually helped me find a mentor just for the sake of me understanding what AI is, not yet into coding. So what I did, because I actually need to find something to start, I need to learn to code. Otherwise, my project will be like flunk, right? So I did enroll for Yayasan Peneraju. So Yayasan Peneraju is a local NGO where they sponsor people who want to learn technology stuff, accountancy. So part of it during that time, they have this Data Star program where they sponsor you to actually take a certificate to become a data scientist. So I enrolled for that because I wanted to learn how to become a data scientist to actually make my model work for my master's project. So what's fun for Yayasan Peneraju is that you are paid to learn, and then you got a data scientist certificate, and they actually link you, the scholars, to the industry. For my batch, we are linked to Petronas. So, but I did not engage them because I already got ExxonMobil. So I'm like, okay, bye Petronas, like that. But my friend, most of my friends, like 90% of us, we managed to land a job with the help of Yayasan Peneraju. So most of them are like in Petronas until now, and some of them are they have already spread to all the IT company. And fun fact is that all of us who enroll in Yayasan Peneraju, we don't have any background on software. We're like mechanical engineering, biology. We're everything that just wanted to do data. So when I enrolled for Yayasan Peneraju, I used that knowledge and apply it to my master's degree. And what's fun is that I actually went to career fair because part of the agreement between me and Yayasan Peneraju is I need to find a job with more than 3,000 salary. So I went to UTM career fair and accidentally I went to ExxonMobil booth, which I'm not familiar with what it is because it's an oil and gas company. It's totally alien to me. And I gave my CV. I had a discussion with the boss, and he is very interested with my master's project, and he actually hired me the next day. So go to UTM career fair. Okay, just a brief advertisement there. So when I actually get the job as a data engineer, I actually sell my data scientist certificate, and I also highlighted the project that I did. I did not, I haven't graduated that time, and I got a job. So and then suddenly when I got a job, I got pregnant with my second born, my second baby. So I had a child then, and I am pregnant with a second born. So when I got a job, I actually had to manage becoming a career mother, a pregnant mother, and also a learning mother. So this is where I got into a tight position where I cannot manage my own time. I don't have the time to juggle between all those things that are happening simultaneously. So I made the hardest decision because I really like what I did then is actually to stop pursuing my master. So fun fact is that during when I did my master, I actually had all the results ready. I had the discussion prepared. It's just that my model was not as accurate as we wanted to be. So the target was to get 80% accuracy for my model. I only got 70%. So in order for me to actually graduate, I need to fine tune my model and edit a little bit of code, do some coding, researching, and I don't have time for that. So I have to stop midway. And it's very sad because I'm so close to the finishing line, but it's taken a toll on my body because I'm pregnant at that time. So everybody told me to just quit and focus on focus on my work.
Sorry for interrupting, Miss
Yep.
Dewi. I think I need to go. Okay, enjoy your apa tu webinar ya, Dewi.
All right.
Everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you
doctor.
all.
All right. So, and then I quit my master's and I focus on working as a data engineer in ExxonMobil. So here I just want to say that sometimes it's okay to take a step back and do not push yourself too hard until it drains your mental and drains your body. Just do what you are capable of and you're gonna be just fine. I'm doing fine right now, so I think that's good. All right, that is all from my backstory, but when there is a backstory, there's always a challenges, right? So as you can see my head rolling over there, that's actually me rolling on my learning curve. But because it's a straight line, I don't call it a learning curve. I call it a learning line. It's a straight line, so it's a line. So what are the challenges that I faced when I did my master's, my FYP, and when I get a job is everything is foreign to me. Everything is new. I have nobody to refer to, especially when I did my master's and work, especially work because I am a biology student and then you have to work in an oil and gas company. When I started working, the first word that pops out in my screen is upstream IT. I don't even know what upstream is. And then there was downstream and midstream, and I'm in upstream. I'm not even sure what those mean, so everything was alien to me. And of course, COVID, and because actually because of the master project is actually new. Data science for biology is a green field. during that time. Not a lot of research paper, limited research reference. So it was a hard time for me because I don't even have a code to be used as a template for my research project. Everything is from scratch because it's a green field for biology and data science, especially in AI. It's new. I'm not sure today, but during that time, you can count in one hand how many research papers there is for AI and biology, especially microalgae. There's none. And if there is, it's not specifically how you want it to be. It's always something and it's not it. It's not it. Okay. So it's very hard to find research papers. And code, there's no code. You need to build from scratch. And then because and then imposter syndrome. When I started working, everybody is from tech. Everybody has oil and gas background. I don't. So I have this imposter syndrome where I think, oh, I'm not. This is just luck, you know. This is just luck. I'm here not because of my own effort. It's just luck. But no, okay, no. It's wherever you are, whatever you do, it's because you are good at it. Okay, it's not because the luck. Luck plays a part, but most of it's on you. It's your hard work. And the way of thinking is because when of course we are raised as a biology for 4 years, and then I did my master for 2 years, 6 years I learned as a biology, and then you have to work as a data person. You need to learn tech, AWS, Azure, fundamental, everything. You need to think, you need to troubleshoot like an IT guy, and then you need to analyze like some sort of scientist. So you need to mix in between, and the way of thinking to troubleshoot, to learn the data, to understand it, you need to actually shift it 180 shift. But you can manage because actually, fun fact about biologists is you are actually a data analyst. You just don't realize it yet. But I'm gonna prove it to you guys later. And again, no coding experience. Everything is new to me, so I had to learn everything from scratch. And you just need to be resourceful. Everyone is willing to teach you. You just need to find the right teacher. So those are the challenges that I face. Next, okay, I think this is the fun part. I keep on listening people telling me that you're a data engineer. Devi is a data engineer, but what do you know about data engineer? What is data fill? I do believe that it's gone viral about data analysts, data scientists, data engineer. What are those? So basically, data analysts, data scientists, data engineers are totally different job scopes, but they intertwine with each other. They need each other to actually work. So first, let's start with data analysts. So basically, data analysts, they usually, when they see a data, they ask what happened to it. They ask like, oh, why is this happening to the data? And so again, when you have a data, you need to clean it first. What skill set do you need when you clean a data is SQL. I heavily emphasize if you want to start going to data field, learn SQL. Always learn SQL because all the database, Oracle, BigQuery, or AWS, RDS, SQL, everything is SQL based. They can read SQL, so learn SQL. So basically, when a data analyst gets the data, they will clean it, make it readable, make it beautiful, clean the data by using SQL. And then once the data are clean, the data are pretty, it's readable, it's understandable, they will shape it how they want it to be, then they visualize it. So when they visualize it, usually our company, even my company, we use Power BI. Some company use Tableau, but it's super expensive. So if your company uses Tableau, means they're rich. But fun fact, because you guys are still a student, you can have full access to Tableau for students. So you can play around, train that, and make good use of it, get that certificate, and you are now a visualizer. So again, okay, back to that. So once data analyst gets the use of Power BI, they will analyze it and they will visualize it into a graph, a chart, anything they want it to be. And that is when they will present it to the stakeholders, the bosses. They will present it to their bosses and say, oh, this is happening because of this. So based on their analyzing, their visualization, then the bosses will make it their decision. Oh, I think we need to cut on this. I think we need to implement this. All that sort. Okay. This also applies to my company where the visualization, it actually impacts the engineers making their decisions. So what they did, what the data analyst did was they prepared a software where the engineer can view it, their machine from the platform, just from laptop, they can view it. And from the graph, from the reading, the engineer can make the decision directly and quickly. So it's a good thing if you learn to use Power BI or Tableau, it's okay. And then, so that is for data analysts. They usually ask what happens, visualize it, and talk about it. What difference between data analysts and data scientists is data scientists, they also ask the same, what happened? But they also add another question where they ask, what will happen next if this data is like this, right? So when they ask, what will happen next? Usually that is when they create an AI model, not AI, okay, machine learning model, a predictive model, which is an AI, like machine learning, deep learning. But deep learning usually uses images, and you need a very powerful computer. So it's best if you learn machine learning first. Fun fact. So okay, and one thing, if behind all those machine learning codings, deep learning codings is actually advanced statistics. I do know that when we did our first year program, we learned statistics. That is actually really useful. If you get an A, it's gonna be easy for you to understand all the algorithm with that. It's not as easy, but you can understand it as quickly as possible, because behind machine learning and deep learning is actually advanced statistics, and you learn that during your first year. So it's good. So once the of course data scientists will use SQL to beautify the data, and then they get the data, they feed it to their machine learning model, and then the model will give prediction, la 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 la, and then they will use that prediction also for their stakeholders, for their bosses to make decision. So for data scientists, it's not as straightforward as data analysts. They need to do the scientist part where they need to fine tune, troubleshoot their model and all that jazz. You need to do a lot of research to actually make it work. Again, usually when you want to build a model, what skill set you would like to have is Python. It's basically why I mentioned Python. It's because it's the easiest code language. Python is the simplified version of Java and all. So it's best if you learn Python instead of Java. Java is going to take you a lot of time. And again, learn SQL. SQL is always the first language to learn before you learn other data related languages. So that is for data scientists. And then we move on with data engineer, what I do. So basically, as the name suggests, engineers, they need to make sure that the data analysts and the data scientists to get the data as accurately as possible and as correctly, I mean, like the placement of the data is correct so that they can get the data when they want and how they want it to be. So what we need to do is actually build a pipeline, not the pipeline that you see the round one. No, it's the pipeline virtually. So you need to build a pipeline where your data from point A reaches to point B. And not just that, you need to make sure when the data reach point A to point B, the data is exactly the same. If point A have 1, 2, 3, you need to make sure at point B the data is 1, 2, 3. Sometimes when the transfer, the loading, the extraction happen, some data might be lost in between. Not sure where they go, but it's 1, 2, 3, and then at point B it's 1, 2. Where does 3 go? So we would like to prevent that from happening. That is why we have data engineer to make sure, basically, like engineers do, they build pipeline and they maintain it throughout the way. And how they build the infrastructure, that is actually a data architect job. So that is another data field thingy, but we're going to focus on 3 jobs for today. The data engineer, they create pipeline, they maintain it, they build infrastructure for that, and again, they maintain it. So data engineer provide the correct data at the correct place for data analysts and data scientists to consume. Okay, so basically, how I want to simplify it is basically data analysts, they explains the past, Data scientists, they predict the future, and basically data engineer, they build the system that can make both possible. Right. I hope you guys understand that. Okay. I forgot to mention the skill set. Again, SQL. When you want to become a data engineer, you need to clean the data. You need to stabilize the data. Make sure you learn SQL. Again, 3 parts, 3 SQL mentioned 3 times. SQL is important. Python is an option because sometimes for data engineer, you use different sort of method. You can use AWS, you can use Airflow, but it's best if you have basic Python language so that you can survive. Right. Okay, that is for data field. Now we're gonna talk about the industry trend. Fun fact that I know for my company is an oil and gas company. So we have this carbon capture and storage. And one time the high ups they mentioned that they actually invested millions, billions for algae based research where they actually wanted to have an alternative for fuel by using microalgae. You can ask your lecturer more on that. I cannot say more because I don't understand how it works, but they actually invested a lot to get the data from them, from the biologists, basically. This is not said in anywhere, but we know as I work in oil and gas, it's actually talk a lot. So one thing that you guys can try to pursue on the industry trend is algae-based carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So again, my company itself, they wanted to produce an alternative for fuel by using microalgae. So a lot of the data actually, the biologists, they don't know how to play around with it. So most of the data are given to us in Kuala Lumpur, all the IT folks. So they use the data, they play with it, they visualize it, they implement modeling to actually learn what the biologists are doing because the biologists, they don't know how to play around with the data that they get using computers. So it's best if you guys can focus on this one, more on environmental impact of your research and actually get the data and try to learn from it and do some data science thingy like AI. Again, okay, that I'm gonna talk more later on the tips and trick. And then I do believe that this is most of it. The second and third is what I read and what I asked around from my colleague is that we believe that the biotech firm, a lot of biotechnologies company, not just biotechnology company, all of the company, we are shifting from on-premise server, hard copy server, no, hard copy hardwares to on cloud. So basically, most of the company, including mine, we are moving from on-premise to cloud. This not just apply to us, it's all of it. So when this happen, what skill set that you need to have is actually cloud computing, AWS, Azure, BigQuery, Google tagging and all that. It's best if you can learn and utilize it. It's one of the skill set that you can focus on and implement it to your work. And because like, again, this is actually linked to the first one, you can, for real-time analytics, because you have the data, you can learn machine learning, deep learning, all of that to implement the data that you get and then get a job. You know, people are actually looking for this. People, biologists, scientists who can actually do machine learning and deep learning. But for biological aspect specifically, not a lot of us can code. So we actually depend more on people from the softwares where they don't even understand how biological research work. So why I want to emphasize the industry trend is actually a lot of people they keep on talking, keep on saying that, oh, and when you take biology, you're not gonna get a job. That's actually wrong. Those people who say that, they don't know how to find a job. That's the problem. Your skill set as a biologist is actually very valuable, but we don't know how to make it worth it so that people can see it because you're actually a data analyst yourself. You get your data from the research that you've done and then you visualize it in your research, like build a graph, build all those fancy graph in your thesis, and then you write a discussion on it and the results. All of that are actually data analytics, but you just don't know how to write SQL because we don't have a database repository. But it's something we can work on, but that is actually a skill set that you have that I realized I have when I started working. And I do know that most of us in biology, we have that. We just don't know where to put it. So your skill set is actually very valuable. Don't think that you don't have any market when you go to the industry. You do have. You just need to know how to put it to use. So what you can do is you can upskill yourself. You can get certificate like I did in Yayasan Peneraju. You can get a certificate from AWS, and then you can align it by applying in LinkedIn. So or other places like JobStreet or anything, not just LinkedIn specifically. So some tips and tricks that I did using my master's is that did you know that GitHub, when you're a student, you can have full access to it. Free, premium access for student and for free. I'm not sure UTM stop or anything, but during my time, like 2 years, and it's not like I'm so old, but it's like 2 years back, you can have full access for GitHub Premium for students and also Canva for students. So when you get that GitHub Premium access, you can actually do projects and you can build portfolio. Like I did when I landed a job, all they look at was my bio AI project and my Yayasan Peneraju. When I did Yayasan Peneraju, we had to do some projects. So what they look at is the projects, the skills that you implement when you did that project. They don't look at my results, that they don't care. And then, so one of the many places that you can look at when you want to find project is Kaggle. I did a lot on Kaggle besides GitHub. I did a lot on Kaggle too. I practiced all my codes there, and you can try that too. So I'm not sure if it's open, but if you see Yayasan Peneraju, you can always apply for it. Check on the website, apply for it. And I do know that UTM sponsors some certificate. You can ask your lecturer for confirmation, but as of last 2 years, UTM do sponsors like AWS Cloud Practitioner Certificate, Azure Fundamental Certificate, Google Certificate, and cybersecurity network certificate. It's for free. You can utilize all those free stuff that UTM is giving you and put it in your resume. It's very, very good because one of my colleague, one of my friend, she actually landed a job in my company by using her CC cybersecurity certificate that UTM forced her to take for free. So it's a good thing. If you you can ask your lecturer on that. I am not entirely sure if it's available till today, but it's something you can look into. And also polish your resume. Make sure if you're not sure, you can always ask me. You can email me to check on your resume. I did that for your senior last year, I think. Yeah, I did help, and I think 2 or 3 people, not all. Those who emailed me, I kind of help a bit. And create and enhance your LinkedIn. For my master's project and my job, I actually built a lot of connection. I did chat with a lot of people in LinkedIn, and they helped me. And I do know one person from Shell who actually recommend me a job just through LinkedIn because I know her from LinkedIn. But again, during that time I got ExxonMobil, so I had to tell her thank you, but I got a job. So LinkedIn is very good. You should create and polish yourself there. You don't have to post everything. Just make one and learn from there. There's a lot of fancy notes there too about data science if you want to have a look at. And some of the free classes that you can try and learn is Data Camp. It's free. LinkedIn Learning. I'm sorry, I think it's LinkedIn Learning, not Learn, but okay. Prusite and Coursera. Those are some of the examples of places you can learn and get your certification. I did have one in Data Camp, I think, or is it Coursera? But yeah, I got one of my certificates there. And I do know that you guys have your FYP data. Not sure what format your data is. It could be images, videos, or CSV, or I don't know, words. But you can actually use that to build your project or do machine learning out of it. Biological data is very useful, but not many people know how to utilize it. So you can be the first. And then again, when you did your LinkedIn, you can widen your connection. Finally, what I want to heavily emphasize is go to your university career fair. If not your university, you can go to other university career fair because fun fact, MNCs, they actually have headcount for what do they call it? Career graduate? Campus hire, sorry, yes. So they have headcounts for campus hire. When they go to a certain university, they actually have a target to achieve, like 10. Oh, when they go to UTM, oh, I need to take 10 people from UTM to be our employees, like that. So it's something that MNC have. And when I did go to some of my friends, I actually told my friend to go once I land a job. I told them to go to UTM Career Fair the next year, and they actually land a job. So go to your university career fair and don't just come empty. Bring your portfolio that you've built from your data or from Kaggle or from GitHub. It doesn't matter as long as you have something to show and to sell. Okay. Righty. So what's next? Now that you have listened to me be able talk nonstop, what's next after this session is build your technical skill. I heavily suggest for you guys to learn cloud platforms. That is why I mentioned AWS certificate, Azure certificate, and all that because it's in demand right now. It's very, very viral. Like it's everywhere. Cloud platform, it's everywhere. Most company wanted to implement cloud computing. So it's best if you have the knowledge or certification. And then again, you learn SQL. You can learn Python, it's okay. But make sure you learn SQL first before you learn other thing if you want to venture into data, that is. And then create your biodata portfolio. Utilize your free GitHub Premium access, Kaggle and everything. Use that free access to your perusal. Abuse it as many as you can because I cannot anymore. I'm not a student, so I don't have the luxury of that. And if you have your data, it's best if you learn to implement machine learning. I don't suggest for you to use deep learning because deep learning requires GPUs, supercomputer. Like my laptop personally, when I did my master, it's broken because of my GPU kind of got haywire when I ran my model for deep learning. So for first timer, maybe you can learn basic machine learning model. You can always Google it on YouTube. There's a lot, and basic coding template is available in GitHub. Abuse it. So something that I did was I did gain real world experience where I did a part-time in a company called Naluri. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but if you search on LinkedIn, it's actually there. So it's when you see startup meaning company that is starting up, they actually provide part-time options for you guys. So and then some of them actually would like to hire you at a cheap rate. I mean, if you want to venture and you don't mind getting paid low, it's always an option for you to go for part-time or just a freelancer, that sort of stuff in those startups. And it's a very good learning experience because startup is a high-paced company, so you will be learning a lot. So what role you can aim for is again bioinformatic analyst. There's a lot you can always search on LinkedIn or Google like if the position is available, bioinformatic analyst, what the skill set that they need and which company they want. You can always aim for stuff like that. You can always Google and ask for people in LinkedIn and get their advice because they know better. And then keep learning and stay updated is like I mentioned, UTM do sponsor certification for free. You need to keep tab, ask your lecturers, grab it, get it, put it in your resume. Online courses, grab it, take it, and put it on your resume. So, and then based on all of this, you can actually bridge between technology and biology because as far as I know, not a lot of predictive models have been implemented in biology. And we can actually do that in T02, which is just something that we can get the idea of where you guys are, there's a lot of students in T02, but we don't have any repository of data. So where does all the data that you get go? Where are they stored? You don't know, right? So this is just an idea. But it would be best if you guys or your lecturer, or you can ask your lecturer to build a repository of data. It doesn't matter what sort of data you have, CSV, images, video, you can have all of those data placed in one place, in one repository, and you can use the data to train your model or do other sort of stuff. Data is the new oil. I don't know where the data is flown away or anything, but we can start to collect all the data, build a repository, and use it for research for you guys to learn data science or anything. Just an idea. All right. Now that I'm done with what's next, I'm actually done with the session. So you can contact me through LinkedIn. You can always add me and chat me. I am happily active there. I reply to messages if people ask me questions. And if in case I don't reply to your LinkedIn, to your message on LinkedIn, you can always email me. So if you have data sets that you're unsure what to do with it, like how do I implement data science to this? What model should I use? You can always ask me. I can advise you on that. And if you want to clean your data and you're not sure how to clean it, I can always guide you guys. SQL is always the option, but I can always guide you guys on how to do stuff. So it would be best if we can build our data repository with all your hard work, and I hope that our data is being used wisely and stored for future use. All right, I think that's all that I have for today. I'm gonna revert it back to our moderator, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Miss Devi, for the